Hey, welcome artists and art fans. Thank you guys for tuning into the only spot where we talk to your favorite Instagram artists about the trade, the tools, and of course the tips, baby. What's up? Hopefully, sound quality is sounding a little bit better. I got the brother, this blue mic, so we're gonna be testing out some stuff today, and let's get at it. I am your host Zim Zimmer, and you guys are on Chatting with Zim. This is episode number 119, y'all. And today it's gonna be a dope special episode. I met this woman when I did my first show over in Aurora a few nights ago, or a few nights, a few weeks ago, right? I met her. She's a cool animator. She's a creator, artist. She is the creator of Bellossoms Full Bloom. It's an animated show. You could find it on YouTube's, of course, at Bellossoms, Bellossoms. You could also find Erika is her name. Oh, I'm sorry if this is off today. It's quite a morning. How is everybody doing? We got Con Artist, Blackjack Davy. Let's see, Alter Nomad, rocking the suburbs. What is up, man? Thank you all for joining us today. And right now we're just waiting on our guest. Erika Swanson is joining us. She's a Chicago native. Like I said, met her at the Aurora show, the first one we did a few weeks back. Artist, animator, so it's gonna be the second animator we're gonna have on. Also, if you guys haven't seen yet, make sure you guys head over to Chatting with Zim. Make sure you guys are subscribing on YouTube, as we got all the updated shows. Right now you're watching the latest and greatest. Shout out to Notorious Pez in the building as well. What is up? And without any further ado, right? Let's go ahead and let's get her on the show. Hopefully she don't have the butterflies, right? Let's go ahead. I just invited. And don't forget to keep watching after the show, as we got Mary Mayfist coming on next, immediately right after. So it's a back-to-back, double the Zim, double the trouble, and y'all know how it is. There we go. I see Erika, aka Very Bright Erika. That's Erika with a K, y'all. So make sure you guys give her a warm welcome to the show as we get her on. Seeing some new faces coming in. Jacqueline Franco, what's going on? Thank you all for joining the show. We could not have done this without you. And Erika, I will go ahead and request to join. There we go. Hopefully all you guys are hearing me nice and clear. I'm using a brand new microphone. So hopefully the sound quality is a little better. I could always turn it up. See how that sounds? I don't know. Y'all let me know. But without any further ado, we got Erika Swanson, Very Bright Erika, creator of Bellossoms Full Bloom. Drum roll, please. All right, it might be a little too early for that, right? No map required. Thank you for joining. Let's see. Let's view, go live. All right. This is a little weird now, but we'll manage, right? Make sure you guys are following Monsters Art Clan, Live with Seven, the Drawn Count Show, and DR Valencia Designs as well. He just launched a Kickstarter for his Celestial Night. Had him on last week. The show was awesome. The Kickstarter was awesome. So there we go. Let's view. Let's go live. Let's try this one more time. Let's see. All right. How's everybody out there? Everybody's morning. Erika, I just sent you a request again. Let's go ahead and see what we could do. But once again, thank you all for joining. I got a bunch of stuff in the works. I don't know if y'all could see, but I'm rocking this dope Pokemon pin. That's right, that's right. It's gonna be an electrifying show, hopefully. Let's see. It's 11 a.m. Go live with Very Bright Erica. What up, Congo? How you doing, brother? All the way from Australia, rocking the suburbs. There we go.
Hi.
Hi, Erica. How are you doing?
I'm good. The drum roll was too early. I don't know how to use technology, apparently.
Oh my God, do not worry, do not worry. For some reason, my mic levels is not good. Hold on. So how you doing today?
I'm great. I'm so excited to be here. Thank you for having me.
Oh, and thank you for joining. It's a pleasure. You know, it's a let's see, how could I say it? It's good meeting other artists and just new faces and talent for the show, right?
Thank you. Are you using talent loosely or just all talent, everybody?
Yeah, yeah. You know what? I'm sorry to do this, but I think I might have to go without the headphones because they are not, I can't hear.
But they're so stylish.
There we go. How about now? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right. And what did I do? No, what did I do? Okay, I think I got it. I got
Intermission.
it.
We're
I
totally
got this.
professionals. We
No.
can do this.
There we go. Perfect.
Hi,
All
everybody.
right, Erica.
Hi,
So once
people.
again, thank you for joining.
Hi, friends.
All right. Can y'all hear me now?
I can still hear you.
Okay. Well, I think we're gonna have to do the show like this. Sorry for any other audio noise. I'm getting used to this new mic I got, so better sound quality.
I didn't even have my mic on when we started, so eventually, maybe just do you know American Sign Language? We can try that.
Oh, geez. Unfortunately, I don't know sign language. Jeez.
I don't either. I'm working on it.
Oh, that's what's up. And just for everybody who knows, you're Illinois native as well.
Illinois native. Yep.
Yeah, that's right, y'all. That's right. We're becoming stronger, Midwest, baby.
Always strong. Super tough.
There you.
Yep.
There you go. Cool, cool. And yeah, well, let's start the show. Let's start with the favorites, right? Get to know a little bit more about you and some of your favorite stuff. I'm gonna take you on all sorts of roller coasters right now.
Let's go. What's your
Let's
favorite
go.
roller coaster? Tell me right now.
Oh, mine's none. I am afraid of heights.
Oh, you've never been on one at all?
I think I've been on one, and that was the first and last time I ever done that.
Okay, all right. Because I was gonna throw down like some Great America favorites, like Raging Bull. Raging Bull is my favorite for any of the other Illinois
snaps.
folks. Although I'm not good at them anymore. Like I don't know.
Oh, okay, sweet. Let's do it.
Ooh, Vortex. That's a good one too.
Yeah, that is a good one. I know the names. I hate them. I can't. You know. So
wait, all heights. Like, have you been to the top of Willis Tower on the?
I've been there. My wife and my daughter, they're so much braver than I am. They actually got on the edge. I was like, nope,
you didn't do
I'm not doing it. I didn't do it. My mind goes crazy. I start thinking all these crazy scenarios. Oh man, the glass is gonna break. I'm gonna go flying down. You know.
I really like to tell myself that I am not the first and hopefully will not be the last person to do whatever the thing is. So if I see somebody in front of me doing it, like I got my ears pierced as an adult and I was crying.
Oh.
I was so nervous. But the person in front of me getting, because it was a line, I went to Claire's, and the person in front of me getting their ears pierced was a baby. And the baby, not a peep, and I'm sitting there like, so I'm with you. Everybody has their things.
Oh no. You know, and I actually got my ears pierced as an adult too. I had my eyebrow, my cartilage up there.
It
didn't hurt, right?
I feel like
you think so?
It didn't hurt to do it. It hurt like 3 days later. Like the swelling and stuff hurt more than actually doing it. I don't know, maybe.
Oh no.
I just have thick lobes. I don't know. And I never wear them now either, so I have them pierced for kind of no reason. That's okay.
For real, that's weird. I always I say I wear more jewelry than women, right? Or more earrings at least. But hey, it's a thing now. You know,
Cute.
we're
I
2020.
used to wear the big ones, but I have so much hair that I mean, you can't even see my ears, let alone earrings. So
Oh my God.
don't think about it. But yeah.
Sweet, sweet. So here we
And now
go.
you know everything.
All right. And that's it in a nutshell.
I did pull out something for you. Wait, hang on. So we were talking about this because we met at the show in downtown Aurora, right? So I brought out my
Oh,
original
dude.
Powerboard.
Yes. If I would have known, I would have brought mine.
1991. But this is my original. So
Man, it still works.
it does. And I was surprised to find out it still works. It has the saber-tooth tiger because I don't know where my pterodactyl went.
Do you have the blaster for that?
I had it. I'm looking for it because I don't know.
Speak no more.
They came together. They came together. It was the
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, and the sword. Yeah. So I might have it somewhere. I don't know. I lost a lot of things. Unfortunately, like I have some like store ones. Like I lost the Blackbird, the X-Men Blackbird.
Yeah.
And the Danger Room, like the Toy Biz, like the original Danger Room and
dang.
stuff. And so I don't have those anymore. And I wish I did. So every time I see them, I'm like, I'm going to get it again. I'm going to hunt you down and get it.
Yeah. Well, I have some. I have a few extra. So next time I see you in Aurora, I will definitely take one with, and it's yours.
Yes. Thank you.
So look no further.
My collection thanks you.
Yeah.
And I do play with them. I take stuff out of the boxes. So.
Yeah, so do I. You have to. I mean, if you're a collector and you keep it in the box, I don't know.
Only if I really like the box. Like I have Monster High that are in the box because I think the box is really cool. But usually, more often than not, I'd say 80% of the time, I take it out of the box.
Oh yeah, you have to.
I keep it in the box until I have a place for it, and then I take it out of the box.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Smart woman. So let's get into it, right? Let's go ahead and you just answer. Favorite food.
I'm gonna say chilaquiles.
Chilaquiles.
I had them yesterday. Yeah, for breakfast. I like brunch. I like breakfast. I like that restaurants are open and I can go again and eat outside. So I'm gonna say chilaquiles because I can't make them myself. So
okay.
But I would say like tacos, pizza, usual stuff.
You know what?
Also, most of my friends would say I really like cucumbers.
Okay.
So I'm the only person that anybody knows I eat a cucumber whole. Like I don't slice it or peel it sometimes. I eat it like it's a carrot.
Oh.
I'm going to say cucumbers because it's weirder. Cucumbers and chilaquiles. Very simple.
Wow. You know what? That is the first of those. Both answers.
Right. I'm going to have all firsts here. This is a real...
Dope. Favorite music?
All right. So I'm going to say right now, I just got the new score for... My show has its own score, Bellossoms Full Bloom, like he said at the top of the show. And I just got the score for the villains. And right now... The new villains score, it's about 1:40 or so. It's my jam. It's so good. It's like a rock remix of the Bellossoms theme song, which is light and airy, and the Bellossoms one is like horror, and it's got this like dun 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 dun, dun like it's super intense. So I'm into it. Also, free Britney. Hashtag free Britney. Big Spears fan. Also, I really like still like Rob Zombie. Like original Rob Zombie a lot. And you know what? I really like theme song music. So
yeah.
Like the Critical Role theme song and like the X-Men theme song. Like I hear those or like the Power Rangers theme song. Like,
yeah.
They're bops. I'm into them. So they're on my playlist too. Yeah.
Sweet. And it's cool that you mentioned the music for Bellossoms.
Yeah.
So we'll get into that.
Sure.
My mind is just, it's cool. Just FYI, you're the second animator I've had on the show. So.
What episode is this? You have a lot of episodes. I was just curious.
You are episode 119.
119. I like it. So out of 119, only 2 have been animators, including
Only 2 have been official animators, just such as yourself.
I really appreciate that you think I'm official. Thank you.
Well, hell yeah, you are. You're making all these animations, and for everybody else, YouTube, make sure you guys go follow Bellossoms. That's Bellossoms. Bellossoms.
Oh, SS.
Full
Two
bloom.
L's, two S's.
Two L's, two S's. There
S's.
you
Yeah.
go.
So it's spelled
So,
like bell, like ding ding, and then blossom. Bellossoms. So the SS from the awesomes part stays, and then the bell, the two L's from bell. But you could just go to adventureisinbloom.com. That's easier. I made that because Bellossoms is harder to spell. So, or you can just follow me on here and then follow the little links, and then you'll see it.
there you go.
Rob Zombie.
Rob Zombie.
Specifically, somebody
And
asked.
and not only is this an art show, but we're also in a spelling bee. So hell yeah.
Let's go.
Right. Oh, and one more thing, Joe Tolliver art. Shout out to the homie Joe. Make sure you guys go check him out as well. Awesome artist, and he has also his own YouTube channel and stuff, or YouTube, Facebook. Man, so many social media.
Everybody's everywhere. Yeah.
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 He says he pretty much said, he's like, did anybody else have dreams where you tried to morph and you couldn't, and all your friends did and teleported away? It's like, maybe that's just me. I was like, yeah, that's just you, man.
That's you. But that's okay. I wish.
That's cool. That's a cool ass dream, though.
Yeah. I have dreams. Wait, real quick, though, to address dreams. I have dreams, and I've had it 4 or 5 times in a row now, where I've been Stephen Colbert's intern.
Oh, shit.
Literally,
that's
like,
weird.
Following him around the Ed Sullivan Theater. I haven't seen him live yet, but I follow him around the Ed Sullivan Theater, like, and he's sort of like, we have this, like, kind of, like, back and forth relationship where we're kind of quippy with each other, but I'm definitely just like an intern, and then I feel like sometimes I end up as a guest. But I've had that dream like 4 or 5 times, and I've also had a dream where I've hung out with Stephen Amell from Arrow like 2 or 3 times, and I have met Stephen Amell from Arrow, and he's very nice. That's all.
Yeah.
On dreams, that's all I have for dreams, though.
Oh man, imagine you meet him and he goes, "It's you."
That'd be great. Yeah, the girl of my dreams. Would you like to be an intern? And I'd be like, drop everything. Let's go, Stephen.
Right.
Stephen, Colbert or ML. That's fine.
Let's see. And talking about dreams, Danomite139 shout out. He says, I had a dream where a hamburger was eating me. Oh, that's a crazy.
Do you eat hamburgers anymore, though? Because that's... I feel like I'd be like, wash yourself and then take the knife. You know the knife that they give you at the restaurant, just like stab it a couple more
times. It's like, you mother... Yeah. And the Comics Cast, you could find that on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. That was Joe Tolliver, Comics Cast. He interviews pretty much indie comic artists, stuff like that. So, pretty awesome show.
Can I go to his show next? Hey!
Yeah, definitely. There you go. I've seen that you're also in a lot of comic stuff. Favorite comic book title?
X-Men. But my favorite like actual arc is the Dark Phoenix saga. I've had it for a long time. It was one of the first comics like I've ever read. Yeah, that's my easy go-to answer. But I like a lot of comics. I like manga. I really like Sailor Moon, but I like Sailor Moon as a media in general. So whether it's the manga or the anime or like just any version of it, I would like it. Yeah. So I don't think that speaks even necessarily to the fact that it's a comic book that I read. It's just like a property that I like. So I find myself into getting into properties. So I think the only reason I'm actually into comic books at all is because I was watching the X-Men cartoon, and ultimately I think that's what's weird is that I was really into animation, Batman the Animated Series, and still am. X-Men the Animated Series, like some of the classic ones, Ninja Turtles, obviously. And those had comic books, so then I got into comic books because I wanted more story or whatever, and then I wanted to be a comic book artist, and then now being an animator, it's so funny because it's like, oh, that's really what I wanted to be the whole time was an animator, so...
Yeah, that's dope, man.
I looped right back around, yeah.
That is awesome. So we'll put down X-Men.
X-Men's good. Solid choice.
X-Men sounds good.
Batman. I really like most of the Batman I read.
So now that you bring that up, I gotta ask, Marvel or DC?
I'm character. I follow characters. It's
okay.
Yeah, I don't have sports teams that I like either. I like players. So, because I play tennis, and tennis is very an individual sport. So, I like tennis as a whole, but I like, Roger Federer and like very specific people. And I feel like I have the same attitude about comics. It's like, well, I like Robin and I like Batman, but that doesn't necessarily mean I like every Batman comic. I just like that character. So if they're told in a really good story, then I'm very satisfied. Any Catwoman story pretty much makes me like happy. So, but that would be, again, that would be a comic, that would be a cartoon, that would be anything. If the
anything and everything, right?
Yeah, if it's the character that I like, I'm probably gonna just follow it right along. Oh, the Power Rangers comic is really good.
Oh, yeah.
Really good.
Don't get me started. That is awesome.
This could turn into a Power Rangers podcast, but it's so good.
It is. It really is. I was all like, damn, why couldn't people write this shit back then, right?
Thank you. But they have to think about it and improve on it, you know? So
yeah.
But they made it so it's so smart and so good. I actually have I should have bought it, but I saw a Ranger Slayer statue and I was like, oh, I kind of want to get that, but I don't have any space right now, so it would just sit in the box. And like we said, I don't want it to sit in the box. So I have the Ranger Slayer action figure because I just think it's, again, I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but it's a version of it. And it's just a great arc. It's a wonderful, and it's still going, and it's super cool, and I'm just impressed.
Oh yeah, so am I.
And the lore, it's just great.
Yeah. What was the writer's name? Higgins. Kyle Higgins.
Yeah,
he did an awesome job.
Yeah, and the art's great too. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's fucking fabulous.
It's just a great package.
It is. Let's keep going. Okay. Or else we're gonna talk about Power Rangers for a whole hour, which I could do. I could do
it too. That's a separate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we'll come back to that.
For sure. Favorite, I think you might have mentioned it, but favorite artist, living or present? I mean, dead or living, yeah.
I'm going to say Darwin Cook. These are artists that are, as an artist, it's almost like whether you consider you influence, and I would say influentially, it would be animation. Like, the way I draw is influenced by animation, but like art that I like that can't even necessarily reproduce, Joe Mad, Darwin Cook, like the Catwoman run specifically, Tim Sale, anything where, Frank Miller, anything where I like simplicity, I like high contrast, I like where it sort of looks sketchy, where they like set up the page. I don't like a lot of detail. Like a lot of some of the Avengers comics have it where you can see like every single like scale and like Captain America's suit and stuff. Like I don't gravitate towards that. I gravitate towards more of the ones that are like almost symbolic and stylized, like that. And it's more about how they kind of light it and you can almost see it as a storyboard, like in black and white. Those are the artists that I really like. But I think when the way they can just like set up a panel and stuff is really cool. So the less lines to me is like the more impressive. So I think those guys are really, really great.
Sweet. Good shit. Good picks. Do you believe in ghosts?
I've never seen a ghost, but that's not for me not to believe in them.
Okay. What do you believe in UFOs?
Oh, I definitely believe in aliens. For sure.
All right.
Absolutely.
Have you ever seen a UFO or an alien?
I cannot say I have, but you know, I'm nearsighted. So my vision I can't see super clearly into the sky anyway, so I'm not a fair person to ask. I don't own a telescope. But you know.
It's out there.
I think there's other life.
For sure. We're almost done here. If you were an element, earth, wind, water, or fire? Fire.
I watch Avatar, so I had that ready to go.
Oh, hell. You should have said all of them.
Firebender, for sure.
For sure. That's fucking dope. Hell yeah. Favorite color and 3 reasons for liking it.
I like pink. It's not actually, it reminds me of Bellossoms. My whole table is pink. I feel like it's very distinct. So it stands out, especially at Comic-Cons where sometimes it's like black and dark, black and dark, black and dark. And then it's like pink sparkle booth. And so from a branding perspective, I really enjoy the pinks that I associate with Bellossoms. Yeah. And it's a very specific pink too. So I like it.
Sweet.
Personally, I like black. So pink and black, like the Ranger Slayer.
Hey, there it is. Bringing it back, tying it all back. Love it. And I hopefully I'm not wrong, but you might. I don't really ask this one, but favorite Simpsons episode.
I like the one where Marge becomes a cop.
Ah, ah, the old car holder one, huh?
Or the one where Homer has the crayon removed.
Oh no, yeah,
I
those are
like the really
good.
tough ones, like Futurama too, the ones where they're very you're like the dog. Again, I'm not gonna spoil this for anybody, but like the dog episode or the bee episode, like episodes like that that really stand out beyond like they still have the humor, but they stand out beyond in a lot of stuff.
Okay,
Oh, you know what else? I'm gonna say the monorail episode. Honestly.
monorail,
Yeah.
monorail, mono.
Any
Stupid
musical
up.
episode of anything, I'm a fan.
Oh hell no! And Room, what is your favorite Simpsons episodes? Room, check it out. Let us know. And shout out to everybody else who's joining us. Halo Halo. I see some new faces in here. We are with Erika Swanson, creator of Bellossoms. Find her at adventuresinbloom.com. And you could find Bellossoms on YouTube. You could also find her on Facebook, Twitter. Twitter is at Bellossoms as well. And Facebook is Follow the Flowers. So hopefully I got that right.
You can do followtheflowers.com too.
Followtheflowers.com. Let's do it. You could do one or the other. You could do them all.
Yeah.
You know, just go ahead and do that. And so Erika, what got you into drawing? Where did your passion start? Let us know your origins.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna keep wrapping back around. I think it's animation. It was just ingrained in me. I just really I can't ever imagine myself like I can't remember a time where I've never drawn anything. I really loved The Little Mermaid. I really loved, like I said, Ninja Turtles, all the classics, X-Men. I mean, because it used to be back in the day, right? There were only so many shows, so it was either a smash hit, so everyone knows about it, like an X-Men or a Ninja Turtles or whatever. Or it's not like now where you're streaming. It's like everybody has these like individual animes that everybody is watching, and like I can't keep track, but you can have those like subgroups, which I think is really cool. Like you can have niche, but back in the day there wasn't niche. So you either liked the mainstream cartoon thing, whatever was airing on Saturday morning, and then so those things. And I just really liked them. I was always drawing them, making my own stuff, making my own book covers for school. Batman. I think it's just I just absorbed it as a part of me, and I never dropped it. So I think it's funny, like Ninja or Power Rangers and Ninja Turtles, I guess. But Power Rangers is a really good example of like, oh, people react like it's my nostalgia. It's like I don't even feel nostalgia about it because I never abandoned those properties. Like I never quit liking them. I never like put away my toys or anything. I was like, no, I still love this stuff. Sailor Moon was probably the biggest turning point for me when Sailor Moon came out because I'm a girl. Surprise. It was the first show that I'd ever seen where there were all women, all girls, and they were superheroes, and there was a team of them. And I was exposed to it through a commercial for the toys. And when I saw the commercial for the toys, I was like, oh my God. And I went downstairs like to go play it like right away. And like the 30-second like information that I had, I was like, I have enough information to like, and my brain was like, and Sailor Moon, Sailor Mars. And I needed to see it. And then so I just like followed it obsessively, and I drew several of my own like fan comics, like 5 or 6 like thick sketchbooks worth of these like Sailor Moon stories that I developed on my own because I didn't have access to what was in Japan. So I was like, I would see some character art but not really know anything about them. So then I would sort of like fill in the blanks. It was before like Sailor Saturn like came over to the States and stuff. So I was just very into their world and whatever that was, and learning as much about it as possible. And then it sort of went into comics. So I was really into Witchblade and still Batman. I think Batman's great. X-Men is huge for me. And then so I just kind of drew my way through school. I drew my way through school to the point where like I wouldn't do papers in history. I would do like comic books. But I wouldn't really read the book, but my teachers were so impressed that I did a comic, but they were like, yeah, okay, it's an A. And I'm like, so I would just literally draw my way, like in science.
That's cool.
I drew my way like with a mural for like extra credit. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do that. So, and then I went to school and kind of just kept drawing through there. Although I will say when I went to, you guys are all, most people maybe are Illinois people, but when I went to community college for the first year, so I went to college in DuPage, and then I transferred to a state school. And at the state school I was at, I didn't go to like an art college or like Art Institute of Chicago or some of the big like names that maybe kids are told they have to go to be an artist. Like I don't consider myself a traditional route on an artist at all. Like this is a super wrap back around animation, but it's like a long roller coaster. But I went to a state school, and when I got there, they were like, we don't do this here. You're at the wrong school. Like they looked at my portfolio,
no.
They thought it was trash. Like they thought it was trash because it was Batman and X-Men and whatever. And I'm like crying in my dorm room. I'm like, what do I do? Like I'm not going to get into school. And the RA that I had at the time was actually an art student. He's like, here's some charcoal. Just draw like a foot and a table and do some like life drawing type of stuff or like observation. And it's like, you'll have it. Like that's what they're looking for. And I was like, okay, fine. And sure enough, I drew like my foot and like a table and whatever. And then kind of got into the school. But with no specialty. Like I have a general bachelor's. Like I took jewelry and I took graphic design and I took sculpture and I had no business doing sculpture of any kind. I mean, I'm glad I was kind of exposed to it, but like everything felt like a mismatch when I was doing it, except for when I did life drawing. I was like pretty good at being able to do life drawing, like with the model. And I kind of did I don't know, 2 or 3 of like life drawing classes, but in general, it's just a general art degree. So I didn't have much of a portfolio to go on, and I didn't have any like grand ambitions of like, I had no idea, like a lot of the kids that were at my school, because it was more of a fine art program, would do that's me. Hey. That 300 posts exactly. There's
awesome. Congrats on that.
Hand-drawn marker art. Come see me at a table and get some. I'm so proud of that Sephiroth piece. Can we talk about Sephiroth for a second? Because I'm also a gamer. Yeah, that one's great because I just introduced the main villain of the series. And of course, Sephiroth is the main villain. And I had just finished the Final Fantasy remake. And I was like, this drawing is happening. And I'm like so proud of the detail of her in Genova form that I feel like Instagram doesn't do it justice. I'm going to make a print of it. I just haven't yet. It's kind of weird, but I just love that picture. That's my side note.
There you go. Look at that.
Love it.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Freaking amazing.
It's bigger on your screen. On my phone, it doesn't look nearly as big. So, yeah. So I went. I had no training to apply art in the real world. But I will say, this entire time that I was in school, I was kind of doing Comic-Cons before they were these massive 60,000 person events. So when I was a teenager, like I had a table, and this was back when like adult stars had tables in Artist Alley, and like they would sell prints of their pinups, and it was a very like mishmash thing of just different kinds of people, and they didn't really have like requirements or anything like that. So you just kind of bought a table and sat down, and I did okay. People liked my art. It was random. It was, I would have like one Chun-Li picture, and then I would have a Wolverine, and like I didn't have a property yet, something like Bellossoms specifically. It was just random like fan art type of stuff. Stuff that I liked and just felt like drawing, and it was all like hand drawn at the time with ink and stuff and marker. So I was doing these Comic-Cons. That was basically my only work. As an artist, I was working at a bank. I worked at a video store. Like I was an RA actually later in college, and then I had a random like call center job, and I didn't like it. And I got a job as an art teacher at a high school, at a private high school. Yeah, so I was an art teacher for like
dope.
3 years. Yeah, I run into a couple students every now and then, and I was like kind of a tough teacher too, because I took art very seriously and expected people to do it. So they had like weekly sketchbook assignments, and so depending on who you talk to, they might be like, "Oh, I hated her; she was terrible," or "I loved her; she was great." Because if you really liked art, I was like kind of really supportive. But if you were there to take it as a blow-off class, then you weren't going to do well. because I kind of, again, I took it very seriously because I thought to myself, if I was in school and I was an artist and I wanted guidance, and I would want to know, like, for sure, like, get the good critique and like know how to improve and whatever. And and that was, I would say, the most important thing about going to like school, any like a specific, going to a class in general, is that you do get that peer feedback, and you do get like different opinions, and people look at it and tell you about it. So I think that's really important. It doesn't always feel good, but I think it's important to have those conversations, so you
for sure,
reflecting on your own art too. So I was an art teacher for a while, and then while I was teaching art, I didn't really want to do that anymore. So I went back to school again, to College of DuPage again, for graphic design specifically.
Nice.
And then I was a graphic designer for a handful of years. And as I was a graphic designer, and while I was in school, I started developing Bellossoms, and it started as a poster that I drew, and I just wanted to do this cool like cherry blossom poster, and it looks a lot like it's the tree, and then it has like these little flower people all just like on the tree, like they bloomed on the tree, but they're little pixie people. But they didn't have names or anything like that, and it was just a drawing, kind of just to show off my inking skills at that point, because I hand inked it. And then later there was a separate class with a separate project, so I took that same thing and I turned those characters, and I made the tree, and I turned it into a poem where they were on the tree, and then it was like a review of nature where they were on the tree and they bloomed in the tree, but in the fall they fell off the tree and they sort of died, like in a loop. But they like die and fall off the tree because that's how nature is. But in nature, they also, the tree like reblooms, right? So later, like, but I was in school, so I was a student, and I was like, no, it's going to be a sad story, and let's let it, not everything needs a happy ending, like I thought I was making some sort of statement. But I really liked this concept of these flowers blooming, and I realized, oh, they could, you know, if they fall off the tree, they could like have an adventure. So then I started developing, well, what does that adventure look like? And I was like, well, I really like polar bears. Like, I want to go see polar bears one day. I've never seen them. The trip is very, very expensive, but I really want to go. So the first book of Bellossoms is a storybook about them going to the Arctic and having an adventure and meeting polar bears and walruses and doing a little campfire, and that's the first book, like the first narrative example of anything I've done. Probably the biggest, most consistent project like I've ever done. And I was just like, I'm gonna make a storybook. And at the time, you know, I would have wanted to be an animator, but I didn't even think it was accessible. Like, I couldn't afford to go to a California school. I couldn't afford to, you know, or I couldn't get, I couldn't do animation myself, because how would I do cell by cell animation and like scan it or whatever? So I think storybooks to me were just very accessible because it was an extension of books. So I was like, I could definitely do a sequential like book. So I chose a storybook because it felt like something I could actually do. Just something like a narrative that would drive the artwork, basically. And then later, so I kind of left that book and I was like, yeah, it's my book. This is great. I was shoveling snow and I was like, oh my God, the thorns. So I came up with like the villain. And sure enough, I had book 2 and book 3, which is sort of about, I don't want to spoil it for people, but the blossoms are little flowers that go on adventures, and then the thorns are like, they're villains, but I won't say they're like totally evil, but they're definitely like older, kind of snottier counterparts. They're like mean girls a little bit.
Okay.
And so there's like kind of that dynamic now, which is really fun. And then it just kind of started going from there. So I had these books, and I took those to Comic-Con, because I had quit doing Comic-Con for a while for the reason I told you, where it's like I started with doing fan art, and then I kind of got burned out on just doing fan art, and like my art just wasn't up to par with what I was seeing around me at the time. Like, it wasn't as successful. It wasn't as good. Like, I wasn't writing like, oh, I'm a teenager now, isn't this like fun? And I'm just starting out. It was like I wasn't really a professional anymore. But I was doing the shows. I was like, I need to, you know, regroup and reassess. So when I did Bellossoms, I was like, boom, I've got it. I can go back to Comic-Con. This is going to be great. So I had this like bang out Comic-Con. I had like, these huge banners. I got like 3 tables. All of my friends wore t-shirts like with the Bellossoms logo. Like, it was a full on, and it was pretty successful. I was selling, this is because it was 10 years ago. So I was selling, I hadn't printed them yet because printing books is expensive. So I was selling the books digitally on discs for $5, and people were buying them. Like, people were into it. And I was also, at the table, my thing is like, I do commissions live. So if people come up with requests, I will draw for them, you know, basically take requests and do whatever they want. I have all my art stuff and I'll do it, and, you know, they can pick it up at the end of the show. So I was doing that, and then like selling these books. And then eventually somebody comes over, My buddy John Swanson, I'll give him a shout out, the guy with the cool last name. He knows who he is, because he goes to all the Comic-Cons. So if you're an artist, you may or may not know who he is, because he loves to get sketches and stuff. But he comes up to the table and he's like, people need something to look at, Erika. Like, people really need, they want to see the book. They want to hold the book. And I was like, all right, fine. So sure enough, I had the books like printed. Well, I got them printed and people were like, oh, great, I'll take them. So people are liking the books. I was like, this is awesome. I was like, I don't really know what to do with the books though. Like, all they're doing is like floating. I mean, not all. They're cute. They're cute stories, but the narratives that it's just a flow of, and then they go to the tree, and then they meet this animal, and then they go over here, and then they meet this animal, and it's very whimsical. It's very sweet, but it doesn't have a lot of conflict. There's not a big narrative there. So this whole time I've got these stories, and meanwhile, I pick up a little known hobby called Dungeons and Dragons. So I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons. I'm kind of like learning how to play this game. But the big thing about Dungeons and Dragons is it has massive storytelling properties. So while I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons, I didn't realize I was like starting to understand the mechanics of storytelling better and what makes a story really interesting. And while this is happening, I'm also still trying to promote my books. So I have these storybooks, like I told you. I'm like, I'm going to make a thing of this. So I go to a conference in Los Angeles called the Society of Children Book Writers and Illustrators. And some of your viewers may know what this is. It's a known organization with a lot of traditionally trained book illustrator, or I mean, you can go to the Art Institute to become specifically like a children's book illustrator. You know, like I imagine
that's crazy.
A degree that people get. I don't know. I didn't get that. I was just like, I draw. I'll just figure it out. So I fly out there. It was a failure for me. Like,
oh no.
I remember even looking over, and I had my portfolio out because they had like a very limited portfolio review, and somebody looked at my book and they were like, and I was like,
what? No.
So I went to a luncheon. They had like an open luncheon, like a networking type of thing. And I randomly run into one of the writers from Fresh Prince, like Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. And
Sweet.
I'm talking to her, and just like I'm talking to you, I start going off on Avatar: The Last Airbender and how much I love Appa, and the animation's so cool, and I love animation. And she looks at me and she's like, you should do this. Like, you should do animation. You're obviously really passionate about this. And I kind of look at her and I'm like, you're right. I should do animation. Like, no joke. And so I got on my plane, came back home, started applying for animation schools. I was like, I don't know how to do this, but I'm gonna figure it out. Like, I know I want to be an animator. So I applied to I told you it's a long story. I applied to UCLA. I was waitlisted, and I applied to DePaul down here in the city. I got in. It's not cheap, but I got in. So I was working full time and going at night, taking the train in, going at night, going into the city, taking animation classes. Finished a year. It was a master's program because I already did a bachelor's, so it was a master's in animation. So I'm just learning kind of the basics of doing storyboards and learning how. But I didn't know how to use the programs. Like, it was like 3D animation. I'm like, some of these people had bachelor's in animation. I'm like, I literally don't know. Like, it's like it was like 101. Like, I was like, if they expected you to kind of know, I'm like, I don't know how to. Like, you need to move. I'm like, I don't. No, I don't. So I really had to buckle down and kind of learn the program. So I ended up doing like a Linda course after I was out of school. But I finished a year, and then I made a person. So when I made my person, I quit school.
Oh, snaps.
But while I had my little person, I started taking Linda courses on how to do After Effects. Because in my mind, I think what I realized is when I was in school that I knew how to do animation, like in my mind. Like, I was like, again, from all those years of X-Men and Ninja Turtles and like anime and Sailor Moon, and like I just like knew how to construct an episode, or what at least my vision was. I just didn't have the technical capability to do it. But nowadays you can do it digitally, and you can learn how to do it digitally. And not only that, thanks to YouTube, you can post it and people can watch it. You don't have to. I always thought to be an animator, I had to apply, which I did a handful of times, apply to Nickelodeon and try to get a job there. But I don't know anybody at Nickelodeon. Like, I don't have a good animation reel. Like, I don't know how to do it, but I just knew like I could do this. This is something I absolutely could do. So I started doing it. So I got inspired. Again, I said I was playing Dungeons and Dragons. I had some through lines on plot. I got into I was watching, and what they had was on Critical Role, which is a show where they play Dungeons and Dragons. They had an opening animation for a commercial, and I was like, God, that animation was so cool. How did they do that? Then I found out it was a 1 or 2 person team that had done this animation. So when I found it was for D&D Beyond, I'll do a plug. D&D Beyond. It was Sam Riegel theme
Shout
song.
out.
Sam Riegel wrote the theme song, just like sang a song, and then they animated to it, and it was a 2 person team. And I was like, well, if 2 people can make this, then I can make something. So I actually commissioned a song. You had talked about my music earlier.
Mm-hmm.
I commissioned a song, and as practice for the skills I was learning in After Effects, I made like an opening credits for Bellossoms, and that was like the first kind of. I was like, I don't have the plot yet, but I'm gonna make the opening animation for it. So I created like my opening theme song. I actually have the lyrics, but they're not included on the YouTube video.
It's Blossom. It is so catchy. I literally sat down and watched every show with my daughter, and at the end of every show, or at the end of the whole series, right? Because of the episodes, I was just singing that, humming that throughout the day, and she's like, "Oh my God!"
I'm so glad to hear it. I do think it's catchy. The Thorns one is really catchy. You think the Bellossoms one is catchy? The Thorns one is.
My favorite would be the twins.
Mm-hmm.
They are so
Lila
creepy.
And Lily. Those are their names are Lila and Lily.
Lila and Lily. I love them. I don't know. It gives me reminds me of the twins from that The Shining.
I've never seen The Shining, but I bet they're just supposed to be kind of creepy. I'm gonna do more with them. I'm gonna do
more
with them.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, no. I just love them. They look crazy. They look cool, and it's like, ooh, you know, it's like twin powers.
I wanted it to take people like, oh, this is creepy. Oh, this is something's happening. Like something is definitely happening. It's not because the books are very much shiny, shiny, happy time, and the show and its narrative. There's definitely conflict, and it's definitely still going. So I'm really proud of the progress, I guess. So like I said, I mean, to sum it all up, I learned the animation thing. I started making episodes. I did all my plot. I kind of figured it out. And I'm happy to present it now to the world, given the technology and the age that we're in. So hopefully I'll get some dolls. That's all I really just want to get popular enough so I can go to Target and buy my own doll.
For sure. You know, and it's there. Like I said, you know, as far as animators go, you definitely, I would consider you there, you know?
Thank you.
You're I think it takes a lot of work, especially for just one person, right? Not only animating, voicing, getting everything together, editing. Yeah. So amazing job, you know?
Thank you.
Applause well deserved.
Thank you. Yeah, I like you said, you're like, oh, I consider you an animator. I'm like, yeah, but that's the thing. Bellossoms is really my first big foray into trying to do an animated project. So it means a lot that you're like, oh yeah, you did it. Like you made it.
Yeah, you
thing. And that was my goal, to make it look like an actual thing that people are missing out on if they haven't seen it yet. So.
And if you guys haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it. And I don't really say that a lot. And if I recommend something, it's because it's good, right? I'm trying to put my name out there. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's well done. They're really short episodes. You know what I mean? I found myself. Let's put it this way. I found myself wanting to see more.
Good.
Yeah. So
next week, episode 7 is coming. That's exclusive. Episode 7 is coming. Next week.
Oh, I like that.
My process is like I sort of have to work on the next episode before I release the new one. And I finished the it's called an animatic. It's the storyboards put to sound and like timed out. So I finished the animatic for episode 8, which, let me prepare you. Episode 8 is my favorite episode so far. But episode 7 is the one that's coming. But because every episode has that next time on Bellossoms thing, I have to sort of pre-do pieces of the next episode, which is why maybe some of the episodes take a little longer, because it's like not only do I have to do that whole episode, but I have to do pieces of the next episode and prepare like all of that too. But it's coming. I'm very excited too. Sweet. It's coming very soon.
And I dig that. You know, it takes me back to like the early 90s. Next time, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so.
Yes.
Yes, I dig that.
Yeah, and
We got
let
a
people know
question.
that there's more.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We got a question from Current Artist Graphic Designs. He has a show as well where he'll take it's not necessarily a live like this, one-on-one. It's more like him and his co-host Jay Strong. They do 10-minute sketches. They do 3 10-minute sketches, and all live, and it's pretty cool, pretty entertaining.
Nice. Way to
But
go.
he says, how much does it usually cost to commission a song?
I wish I had an answer for you. I will say my show has been scored by Shoe Creative, Steven Shoebrooks. He's on Instagram. I follow him on Instagram. I found him, but I don't. He was kind of like, give me some money. Like, I feel like he put it
Okay.
together as simply as I would sketch something. Like, he was like, sure, I know what that sounds like. And he gave it to me, and it felt like, the Sistine Chapel. Like, I was like, oh my God, that's exactly this. How did you pull the sound out of my brain? Like,
Holy
that's
shit,
your
that's
song.
awesome.
But I think it took him like no time. So, I mean, I gave him what I could.
Yeah.
I don't know, but you can ask. They will give you a quote and a price, and you can ask them depending on the complexity of it. I didn't have it scored. I just had music. I just asked for music, and then I mix it myself. Like, I do all the audio mixing myself. So I don't send him an audio-less episode and have him score to it. He just gives me the music, and then I put the score where I want. And I'm sure there's a difference in cost there. I don't know what it is because, again, I'm just kind of piecing this together as I go. It's definitely, you mentioned that they're short, and they're short because it's a one-person show. And they still take me 6 weeks. So
No, for sure.
yeah. So hopefully, I mean, in theory, if somebody like Netflix saw it and they were like, hey, this is a cool property, you could definitely pull out some of these plots to be, 22-minute episodes. I just don't have the luxury of that kind of time or resources, or I just kind of want to, here's the plot, here's the idea, let's burn right through it. These are webisodes, let's go.
Eventually, you'll get there.
That's the plan.
Yeah, you'll fucking get there in no time. And then before you know it, action figures. Hopefully, I'll get a prototype or two. So.
Oh, well, we'll have to do a review. We'll talk about it side by side. Our Power Rangers toys with the Bellossoms toys, and then we can have them fight. Well, the Bellossoms don't really fight, but yeah. I mean, they could. I want them to be like sky dancers, but like float.
Okay.
I want them to be like, because they float. I want them to do something.
Yeah, and blossoming away.
Exactly.
I get it.
That's
yeah,
right.
awesome.
And I have like the tree set in my mind, like like a Polly Pocket, like you open it up and they can play inside the tree and stuff. Yeah, and it comes with like
dope.
animals. And I want to do, Holly. There's the one. This is a spoiler, but in the snow episode, there's Holly. So I want to do like a special edition where there's like Holly and like an igloo and like a polar bear.
Oh, that's awesome.
See. It's coming. Target, I don't know, 2023,
hey,
2024.
You know it all, right? It's all in there.
It's all in here. Yeah.
And just so we know, we got about 7 minutes left in the show. If it wasn't for me having a back-to-back show, I would definitely get this like 2-3 hours. I mean, there's so much to unpack. Erika, first off, I just want to let you know that I definitely want to have you back on.
Oh, thank you. I'd love to do that.
Just because there's so much, I literally want to pick your brain. And on the show, usually I love giving tips to people, to artists, you being not just an animator and creative, but also being out there in like the cons and stuff, for me, it's something I just started doing. So it's, it's always good to just talk a little bit more about it, and just share with the audience. But as of right now, as far as animation goes, is there any tips or tricks, I guess, to give any upcoming animator, I don't know, some help here?
I think storyboards are really important because animation is so time consuming. I think it's really important to have your scenes and your storyboards and your plot kind of timed out and figured out before you actually start to do animation of any kind. Like, I think you want to set up your scenes and tell, just like a comic book, you wouldn't start and like draw like you wouldn't even draw the cover first. You would draw like some of, like you would have it like laid out. I would make sure you lay it out from beginning to end before you start to do, because it's so time consuming. I mean, you could spend, in theory, it's 24 drawings per second, right? But 24 drawings doesn't take a second. One drawing takes, if you're fast, 4 or 5 minutes. So it's 5 minutes times 24, math 125, so 2 hours for 1 second. So you want to make sure that you need that 1 second, right? If you're going to draw and it's going to look good and you're going to take your time on it, then you don't want something that you're going to throw out later. I do find when I'm watching, also my other tip would be watch animation. Like
Okay.
a lot, I mean, most animators probably do watch animation. That's why they want to do it. They saw something cool, like Star Wars Visions here real recently. Oh, it's super cool. It's on Disney Plus right now. I'm not here to promote Disney like they need it or whatever, but it's like an anime version of Star Wars, and it just looks different and looks cool. And it's, so you can kind of get some inspiration for that or some ideas on how to animate or kind of what style you want to do. But I would say at any point, I don't think it's also. I was going to say, I don't think the animation part is hard, but you really have to kind of have an idea of like character and like a life drawing, just kind of how people move or react or how maybe they interact. I feel like some of that is ingrained for me, so I don't want to call it easy, but like, because it's sort of like passive observation. You just sort of have to know. It's a lot of, they live there, right? So you have to imbue a lot of their, whatever their personality and stuff within the drawing. So
Okay.
So observation, and again, like sort of like planning out the boring stuff, I think pays off the most. Although I love storyboards, I think storyboards are the most fun part, because then I feel like I really start to see it come together with the storyboards.
Storyboards, huh? Yeah, those are dope. Those are those.
Itself is like, doing the animation is, it's a lot. Like it's I don't want to say it's boring, but it's repetitive and it's like taxing. Whereas storyboards, it's like, oh, it's changing and it's like very vibrant and it's a lot happening, and then you're kind of piecing it together and still sketching, which means it's still flexible. Whereas when you're animating, you want all of your lines to count. So
No, for sure. Yeah, yeah, and I agree. Storyboards are I dig them, man. I'm that dude that likes seeing how it's made. You know, I always go back and the DVDs or whatnot. You know, and just see it. And I love seeing all the storyboards. I've never really written anything like that where I had to use it, but it's fucking awesome. Just watching like the whole story come to life, and you know.
It's, you know, and I can always tell, I feel like there are some shows that I watch or animation or whatever, because I'm pickier now, I think maybe because I do it. Like if I see something and it's like, I could have animated it better, that's not a compliment, because it's like, I know it's just me. So if this studio can't pull this off, then what happened? And why isn't that successful? And so I'm like, somebody didn't edit this properly, somebody didn't storyboard this properly, like why was this pushed out? Like, because again, it's so expensive to do the animation. Why would you pay to do it wrong? Why would you spend all that money on a busted script when storyboards take hours and animation takes months? But I mean, they take no time to try to figure that out. So I just, for me, again, do the sketch work first, and that goes with it. I mean, storyboards, graphic, any art of any kind or music or anything, sketched out first, and then start to add the detail later. Never structure before detail. That's why I used to tell all students too. Structure before detail is really important on everything.
Structure before detail.
For sure.
You know what? I think that's going to be the name of the show.
Hey, love it.
There you go. That's awesome. You know what? I got a couple minutes really quick. Any shout outs you want to give? Anything that maybe where we could reach you one more time?
Yeah, shout outs. Okay, so I just launched a new fashion line on shopbellossoms.com, which you can also find on my website. It's featuring the Thorns. I'm wearing the shirt. The Thorns. Yeah.
That's
awesome.
The
villains. Here's the jacket. There's a whole line. Here's a blanket. For those cold summer nights. Actually, this blanket looks really cool.
And of course, that beanie.
Oh, the beanie. Yeah, the beanie's actually not on the store right now because it was a Thorns takeover, but the beanie will be back in the winter before like Christmas. If you come see me at a table, I've got pins. What? This is me. I've got stickers. They're free with any purchase. This is one of my storybooks, Intergalactic. You can find them on Etsy, or you can just come see me at a show. It's cheaper because I don't have to pay for shipping. The coloring book. I'm probably going to do a new coloring book soon, so
That's awesome, though.
Get it? I mean, I'm just doing this stuff. So shopbellossoms.com if you want to support the show. Because like I said, it's just me over here. I have a Patreon. It's Very Bright Erica, same as my Instagram. So for $2, you could get your name in the credits. So if you join the garden, you can just plant your name right there.
Nice.
Subscribe on YouTube. The more subscribers I have, the more likely I am to get the dolls. So Zim and I can do a toy review. Follow me here on the Insta. And episode 7 is coming next week, so come watch and check it out. I will say I'm on YouTube for kids, and you can't leave comments. So if you want to talk to me, like, you have to find me on Facebook or on Instagram.
Okay.
And like leave comments that way, but the like button is still there. You know, if you follow me on Facebook, that's super helpful because it has really good analytics. And again, it's not really for me. It's more to like that licensor type of thing. Like I said, I'm like totally focused on being able to get toys. Where am I showing next? Anime NYC in New York, my first ever con in New York City.
What? Nice.
First, yeah, I got in. They had like over 1,000 artists apply, which was really like, I was like, oh, that's so nice. Still haven't gotten into C2E2 yet. I'm waitlisted again. I've been waitlisted 85% of the time, so it's likely I'll be at C2E2 in December. I won't say likely. It's a 50-50 shot I'll be at C2E2, but you know, because they have people cancel, and then because I'm local,
and you know what? Let's try to get in a show within the next month or two, or definitely before C2E2. And if you go, I'll probably go and visit. I've never been to an actual convention.
Oh, no.
I mean, I've been to one a long time ago before it was cool to be a nerd and a geek, but
it was so long ago to not. Yeah. It wasn't cool.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Exactly. It wasn't cool.
No, I mean, it was cool. Whatever. I don't care if it's cool or not. I would still like it no matter what. So the fact that it's mainstream is irrelevant to me, but it is nice that there are more people that are willing to like come to the events and hang out and hopefully
for sure.
So yeah, so probably C2E2, but if you want to fly out to New York, it's my first ever anime show in a while. So, but I'm hoping for C2E2 also, and that's more local, and that's over at McCormick Place in December. So shout out to Reed Pop. They put on a good event over there, C2E2. So yeah.
Sweet.
I've done it before. I did it. It was the last show before the pandemic.
Oh, nice.
It was February like 29th to March 1st, and then I got on a plane, and on the plane I'm like writing some of the script for the show for Bellossoms. Yeah. Like I'm coming up with the concepts of the show on the plane. I was out visiting a friend in Arizona. As I'm flying back, the plane lands. Everything's shut down. Like I came back the day before. Damn. It was all like I was like, oh, this was really convenient. This was really kind of crazy, but that was the last show because they had canceled Emerald City Comic-Con like the following week. So C2E2 was the last big wow. In 2020 was the last like big event that I'd done, and then I'd done a couple this year. Planet Comic-Con was in August. That was really fun. That was in Kansas City. Kansas City's a fun time. So yeah.
Sweet. Well, we'll talk definitely more about that on the next show. You know, I like I said, I there's a lot of questions. Usually my normal questions that I get to, but you know, you've been an amazing guest, and I thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. This is nice.
Yeah. And you're probably like, man, this guy. You know what I mean? That shows what is he talking about? A podcast?
This guy right here. That's what's up. But yeah, I'm hoping to wrap up this arc of the show around March, like spring next year. Like it's a 13-episode arc that I'm in right now. And like I said, I'd come back for the twins later. I have a lot of post-arc content that I want to do that are episodes outside of the main narrative. But this main narrative is going to go 13 episodes. So hopefully it'll be done by like next spring, and then we can come. I mean, I can come before that too, but if you want, we can talk about the end of the show and how the show went then too.
Yeah. I mean,
now this is a great time to sign on and follow the flowers. So
I mean, Midwest artist, you're very native, so I always got a special place for, you know, for my peeps here in Illinois.
For sure.
So that's what's up.
It's where it's at.
Cool. All right, Erika. That's it. Erika Swanson, guys, creator of Bellossoms Full Bloom. Make sure y'all go check her out. If you guys came in late, then definitely go back, watch the show. Follow Chatting with Zim. Make sure you like, subscribe, and whenever I post this, it's going to be either tomorrow or the day after. I will definitely put your feature your YouTube page on my channel. So
awesome.
Yep, there you go.
Please. Let me know, Internet. that. I hope you like
Yeah,
it.
we'll do. Please let her know. Please give her follow, show her some love, show her that Zim love. And that's it. That wraps up number 119, everybody. We'll be right back after these messages. Tune in. We got Mary Mayfist. So that's what's up.
All right.
And yeah, till next time, make sure you guys love one another. Keep doing what you're doing and trust the process, right? That's how we do it. All right, Erica. Thank you very much. We'll see y'all later. Peace out, guys.